Curious about the rarest cars ever sold at auction? Let's take a look.
Automobile luxury.
One of these rare cars, in near perfect condition, was auctioned for a jaw-dropping $625,000 in January 2016 at Meckham Auctions in Kissimmee, Florida. It was a stunner, with a spotless engine bay and underbody that made it look like it had just rolled out of the factory. That's the kind of money collectors are willing to pay for a piece of muscle car history. The 1969 Dodge Hemi Coronet RT convertible is a true gem from the golden age of American muscle cars. Only 4 of these beauties were ever built with the legendary 426 Hemi Fiv 8 engine. If there's a car that is all about power and prestige, it's this one. Dodge introduced the Coronet RT in 1967 as their muscle car contender. By 1969, it had evolved into a sleek, aggressive machine. The standard engine was already an impressive 440 Magnum V8, but for those craving pure power, Dodge offered the 426 Hemi. This beast of an engine produced a whopping 425 horsepower, thanks to its dual 4-barrel carburetors and high-performance camshaft. It could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.5 seconds, making it a true thrill ride. The exterior of the Coronet RT convertible is a perfect blend of muscle and style. Its bold design features dual hood scoops as part of the Ramcharger fresh air system, which not only looked cool, but also helped improve engine performance. The convertible top gave it an extra touch of sophistication, making it a car that could turn heads anytime you are on the road. Step inside, and you'll find an interior designed for both comfort and performance. The vinyl bucket seats are supportive and stylish, while the wood grain accents on the console add a touch of class. The dashboard is all business, with a 150-mile-per-hour speedometer hinting at what this car is capable of. Features like power steering and a Hurst shifter with a wood knob make driving it an absolute pleasure. But don't get too excited yet, because coming next is the 1955 Jaguar D-Type, a classic piece that is not only one of the most valuable cars, but also one of the most historic on this list. In 2016, the D-Type reached legendary status at an RM Sotheby's auction in Monterey, California. One of these legendary cars that won the 1956 Le Mans race sold for a jaw-dropping $21.78 million. This wasn't just a car, it was a champion, and collectors knew it. The 1955 Jaguar D-Type is an automotive icon, a car that feels like a masterpiece of both engineering and art. Built with one mission in mind, winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans, in which it didn't just succeed, it made history. This car dominated the race, winning 3 consecutive years from 1955 to 1957, cementing Jaguar's reputation as a force to be reckoned with on the track. Owning one of these is like owning a piece of racing royalty. Underneath its sleek, aerodynamic body lies a powerful 3.4-liter inline-6 XK engine. With triple Weber carburetors, it could produce around 250 to 260 horsepower, which is serious power for the 1950s. What made the D-Type even more impressive was its lightweight construction. Its aluminum body and innovative magnesium alloy chassis allowed it to reach a top speed of about 162 miles per hour. The roar of the engine is pure music to the ears of car enthusiasts. But let's talk about that design. The D-Type looks fast even when it's standing still. Its long, low shape is complemented by a vertical fin behind the driver's seat, which wasn't just for show. That fin helped keep the car stable at high speeds, making it as functional as it was striking. The overall look is timeless, a design that screams performance and elegance at the same time. The Jaguars outdid themselves with this one. Inside, the cockpit is all about racing. There's nothing unnecessary here, just the essentials a driver needs to focus on the road ahead. The bucket seats are trimmed and lightweight, designed to keep the driver firmly in place during sharp corners. The dashboard features only the most critical instruments and a classic wooden steering wheel. It's raw, purposeful, and exactly what you'd expect from a car built to conquer Le Mans. The 1955 Jaguar D-Type was indeed built to win. But so is the 1957 Aston Martin DBR, one which did not only win races, but is the most expensive British car ever auctioned. In August 2017, one of the 5 DBR1S ever made, chassis number DBR1/1, went under the hammer at RM Sotheby's auction in Monterey. It sold for an astonishing $22.6 million, making it the most expensive British car ever sold at auction. This particular car had a racing history to match its price, including a win at the 1959 Nürburgring with the legendary Sterling Moss at the wheel. While the DBR1's price is mind-blowing, the 1956 Aston Martin DBR was designed by Ted Cutting to dominate endurance racing, especially the prestigious 24 Hours of Le Mans. And dominate it did, claiming the outright win in 1959, Aston Martin's only victory at the event. This car wasn't just a one-hit wonder either. The DBR became a champion on tracks around the world, with wins in races like the 1959 1,000-kilometer Nürburgring. Only 5 of these cars were ever made, and each one carries its own incredible story, making them some of the most desired collector cars in the world. The DBR1's design is just as impressive as its performance. The body is sleek, low, and aerodynamic, with elegant curves that make it look like it's speeding even when standing still. Triangular vents behind the front wheels not only add style, but also serve the practical purpose of keeping the brakes cool. That elongated bonnet and the minimalistic grille give the car its iconic silhouette, while its open-top design lets you know this is a pure race car. Under the hood, the DBR1 was a marvel of its time. Initially, it had a 2.5-liter straight-six engine, but Aston Martin soon upgraded it to a 3.0-liter version that delivered around 250 horsepower. This gave the car some serious punch, especially when paired with its lightweight tubular frame, tipping the scales at just about 1,763 pounds. It was built to race, and race it did, with a 5-speed manual transmission providing sharp control. The braking system was ahead of its time too, with disc brakes on all 4 wheels, an innovation that gave it a huge advantage on the track. Inside, it's all about focus and simplicity. The cockpit is designed with the driver's needs in mind, with clear gauges that deliver vital information during long endurance races. You've got a big tachometer, an oil pressure gauge, and a water temperature gauge. Nothing unnecessary was added. The bucket seats are lightweight but supportive. They are built for long hours of intense racing. And let's not forget the classic wood-rimmed steering wheel that adds some class to the interior. The DBR1 will always be remembered as a winner even at the auction where it set the price record for any British-made car. But it is nothing compared to the next car. In 2018, a 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO sold for a jaw-dropping $48.4 million at an RM Sotheby's auction in Monterey. Later that year, another GTO sold for $73 million, making it the most expensive car ever sold. That price shattered records and showed just how much collectors value not just the car's rarity, but its place in history. The 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO is without a doubt one of the rarest and most legendary cars ever made. When you think of the perfect blend of beauty, speed, and history, this car immediately comes to mind. Only 36 units were produced, making it a true unicorn in the world of automobiles. Designed by Giotto Bizzarini for Ferrari, this car was created to dominate the racetrack, and it did just that. On the outside, the 250 GTO is a masterpiece of design. Its curves, clean lines, and aerodynamic shape were all carefully crafted to enhance performance while turning heads wherever it went. The front grille, with its bold Ferrari badge, is instantly recognizable as it is very unique. Its round headlights and sleek wheel arches give it the fierce, aggressive look of a vintage racing car. Every detail was designed with both beauty and function in mind, from the carefully sculpted rear end to the strategically placed air vents that helped keep things cool at high speeds. Under its sleek and stunning hood, the Ferrari 250 GTO housed a 3.0-liter V12 engine. This powerful engine pumped out about 280 horsepower, which was more than enough to send this beauty from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just under 6 seconds. That may not sound like much today, but in the early 60s, it was breathtaking. It could reach a top speed of almost 174 miles per hour, which was insanely fast for the time. Thanks to its lightweight aluminum body, weighing just over 2,200 pounds, the car was able to convert its power efficiently into speed. This was a machine that was built to win races. Inside the car, it's clear that Ferrari was focused on performance just like most racing cars. Again, there were no distractions, just the essentials to keep the driver in full control. The dashboard featured simple yet clear instruments like a speedometer, tachometer, and oil pressure gauge. The seats were basic racing buckets, stripped of unnecessary comfort, because this was a car built to race, not to lounge in. The interior was minimalistic, lightweight, and raw, designed to help the driver stay focused on the track ahead, not the ride around town. Yet it is no match for this car in our list, the 1904 Rolls-Royce 15 horsepower when it comes to rarity and history. This is a car that was carefully crafted by the founders of Rolls-Royce, which only makes it even more special. The 1904 Rolls-Royce 15 horsepower at the Grampian Transport Museum in Scotland is an incredibly rare and historically significant car, with its value believed to be in the multi-million-dollar range due to its rarity and importance in automotive history. This Rolls-Royce is a symbol of the incredible partnership between Charles Rolls and Henry Royce, the men who forever changed luxury automobiles. It is one of the very first vehicles they produced together, making it the foundation of what would become the most prestigious name in motoring. Only 6 of these cars were ever made, which makes it one of the rarest and most valuable vehicles you could ever dream of. When the 15 GP was first introduced at the Paris Salon in 1904, it caused quite a stir, even though it wasn't entirely complete at the time. The 3-cylinder engine, which was a cutting-edge design for its day, wasn't ready, so they displayed the car without it. This engine was revolutionary, designed to run more smoothly than the simpler 2-cylinder engines, and far easier to build than the massive 6-cylinder ones. Unfortunately, the manufacturing process for this engine was so complex that they only managed to build 6 cars. The car has a 3,000cc water-cooled engine producing 15 horsepower. But remember that this was 1904, so that was a lot of horsepower back then. With a top speed of 39 miles per hour, it wasn't just luxurious. It was one of the fastest cars of its era. The car used a 3-speed gearbox and had a clever system to regulate speed, though you could override it with a pedal when you wanted a bit more control. It also had a unique leather cone clutch and a braking system that used both a transmission brake and drum brakes on the rear wheels. The exterior of the car is all about class and customization. Back then, Rolls-Royce sold the chassis separately, and buyers would hire their coach builder to design the body. One of the most popular choices was Barker & Company, known for their exquisite craftsmanship. This approach meant every car was a little different, tailored to its owner's tastes. The chassis sat on sturdy artillery-style wheels and had leaf springs for suspension, which made the ride surprisingly comfortable, even on the bumpy roads of the early 20th century. Inside, the car was just as fascinating. It used a high-tension ignition system, which might sound complicated, but it was cutting-edge technology at the time. Lighting was provided by oil lamps, and the brakes, though primitive by today's standards, were reliable. Every interior detail could be customized, depending on the buyer's preferences and the coach builder's vision, making each 15 GP a true original. Today, only one of these magnificent cars still exists. The 1904 Rolls-Royce 15 GP represents the birth of a brand and the incredible innovation of its time. For anyone lucky enough to see it up close, it's like stepping back into the golden age of motoring. What's your favorite rare vintage car? And did we miss one? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you soon with another luxury automobile.